What does it look like when someone comes back from the worst season of their career and immediately takes over a Team USA training camp? Because that's exactly what Caitlin Clark just did. She walked into that gym after 8 months of recovery. And within days, she was the most talked about player on the floor. Hitting shots, pushing pace, and making veteran teammates look around like, okay, she's different now. So, let's talk about what actually changed what she said in her big interview, and why Fever and Team USA fans should be feeling really good right now. Let me know down in the comments below if you're excited about Clark's return. The first feeling going to be like suiting up for the senior national team. Oh, it's going to be amazing. Like, as a kid, this is what you grow up watching. So, obviously, I've watched a lot of really great players, and now I think it's kind of like going to be a pinch-me moment. Like, this is kind of what you dream of. And obviously, as being someone that's played for 3 junior national teams, not many kids that had that opportunity get this opportunity. So just super grateful. Picture this. You're Caitlin Clark, and the 2025 season just keeps coming at you. One injury, then another on top of that. You're watching your teammates play from the bench or worse, from home. And every time you think you're getting close to coming back, something else happens. That's basically what Fever fans lived through last season. Watching their franchise player disappear from the court for what felt like forever. The injury timeline was brutal. It wasn't one clean injury where you know exactly what you're dealing with and when you'll be back. It kept stacking. And that's the part that grinds on a player mentally more than anything else, because you can handle one setback. You rehab, you work, you come back, but when it keeps happening, that's when doubt starts creeping in. And Clark actually said that. She said, "The injuries played with my mind." Now, think about who's saying that. Someone who walked into the WNBA as a rookie and immediately took over. So, when she admits something messed with her mentally, that's not a small thing. I mean, I've always been a person that's going to just rely on my work. Like, I feel like it certainly made me work harder, but that's also probably the part that kind of stunk about it is I felt like I put in so much time and so much energy going into last season, and then obviously I only appeared in about 13 games, and some of those probably wasn't as healthy as I probably should have been. So I think just relying on that. I think for me, obviously I didn't have, it's not like I, hurt my knee or, was in tore my Achilles or something like that. Obviously, knock on wood. It was kind of these nagging injuries that continued to build up and dealt with one on top of the other. And she opened up in a way that felt really different from how she usually talks publicly. She described not knowing when she'd feel healthy again, the frustration of the uncertainty, and just how hard it was to sit with all of that. That's a level of honesty most athletes avoid because they don't want to seem vulnerable. But she went there. Here's where it gets interesting though. She didn't stop at "it was hard." She said she came back even better than where I was at the beginning of last season. Not back to normal. Not back to where she was. Better. That's a completely different statement. And it tells you exactly how she's framing everything that happened. I think that was probably almost, played with my mind even more than knowing I was going to be out for a set period of time. I was always trying to come back, and then I'd get hurt in another way. And then, finally, obviously shutting it down. I've had a good, 6 months or maybe more. And I think the first USA basketball camp was a great checkpoint for me, and I felt really great. Honestly was impressed with how with it, I felt sometimes I felt like it maybe would take me a day or two to really get my first step back, but I felt like myself out there. So, because the work she put in wasn't just rehab. She talked about putting herself in the best possible shape I could be in at this point. And the way she said it made clear this was a full rebuild, not just getting healthy enough to play. The conditioning, the skill work, all of it. And underneath all of this is something that never really got addressed loudly. The 2024 Olympic omission. She wasn't on that roster. She never made a big scene about it. But that doesn't mean it didn't sit with her. So walking into a Team USA gym now carries a weight that goes beyond just basketball. You just remind myself who I am and what I've been. And you know, I didn't lose that. So, just continue to do that. The coaches saw it immediately. The teammates saw it. And honestly, watching the footage from those first few days of camp, you can see it, too. She doesn't look like someone managing a comeback. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. Most players coming back from a long injury lay off, ease in. They test the water. They don't force anything. That's just the natural instinct when your body has been through it. But that's not what Clark did at this camp. And the footage makes it really obvious. Look at that knockdown one more time, Caitlin. Give it to him one more time. One more time. Smooth as a baby's behind. Knock down, baby. I like it. Let's go, Caitlin. Hey, we locked in, man. Y'all see how clean USA basketball is looking right now? Come on, man. I know it's just some chill drills. No, y'all can say, man, Izzy, you hyping this up a little too much. But honestly, it is just a good sight to see. Let's talk about what this environment actually looked like. This wasn't a casual team bonding trip. 5 games and 7 days on the horizon. Roster packed with veterans and young stars all competing for roles in minutes. And Clark walking into that mix after 8 months away from competitive basketball. The intensity was real from day one. So the question everyone had going in was simple. Would she be tentative? Because sometimes players come back and you can see them protecting themselves without even realizing it. The hesitation on drives, the shot fakes that used to be pull-up threes, the little things that tell you a player is still working through something mentally even when they say they feel fine. Back. We're going back. She answered that question fast. The side-deep shooting and drills was dropping clean from the jump. Not occasionally, consistently. And in 5-on-5, she was pushing pace, making quick decisive touches, not waiting to see how things developed. The energy she brought made analysts and fans immediately start paying attention. Then there was the game winner in drills. Let's talk about that specifically because it did something to the whole camp vibe. She hit the shot and the reaction from her teammates was immediate. High fives, celebration, the kind of energy you usually save for real games. And that matters because a made shot in practice is just a made shot, right? Except this one wasn't. That moment was a signal to her teammates, to the coaches, and honestly to herself. She's not here just trying to get through camp. She's here to compete. Paige Bueckers and Kelsey Plum both spoke up about sharing the floor with her. And when players at that level are openly saying she looks different, that carries real weight. That's not just being nice to a teammate. Those are competitors who notice things. The broader camp chemistry was something else too. Clark alongside Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, Paige Backer. There was this mix of young energy and veteran sharpness that felt genuinely different from previous USA camps. Someone even called it young and turnt, which honestly fits. It didn't feel like a group still figuring each other out. Here's where it gets interesting. By the end of that first week, nobody was asking if she belonged there anymore. It wasn't one big moment that settled it. It was the accumulation of small things that players and coaches notice when someone is really locked in. I mean, I don't even think it's like necessarily maybe nerves to a certain extent. Probably almost like butterflies. Like this is a super cool opportunity. And like if you didn't feel that way, you probably don't really care enough about it. Like that's how I feel about it for myself. Like this is a different stage. Like you're not going to come out here and be the star player. That's not how it's going to be for USA basketball. Like you're going to find a way to help the team win. You're going to find a way to compete to the best of your ability. But I think for myself, like there's certainly a level of I don't want to call it nerves, but excitement and joy. And I mean, I haven't played basketball in 8 months either. So getting to do it at this level for my first time back, like there's no better way. Like get tossed out into the fire and figure it. Oh. But I felt really good through practice. So more than anything, just really excited. But I know day of the game I'm going to be hyped up and probably a little anxious, but in a good way. I was going to. When Clark said, "Oh,